Hi YouTube. I might be upside down. Hold on. Sorry about that. I've been trying to do this video for the last few hours and it's not really working for me. I tried to do this on Facebook Live and it didn't happen. I tried to do a Facebook Live at least 10 times and it kept saying connection issues. I even used my computer and it kept saying connection issues, or couldn't do it on the computer. So I'm doing this reading now. What I find strange is the birthdays you guys gave me, and this reading is going to be on Stephen Paddock and Marilou Danley, which is in regards to this Las Vegas shooting. And I did a reading on the Las Vegas shooting already. Most of the people in my reading room have seen that. So that was just a general overall. It wasn't really in regards to people per se. It was just a general reading. And yes, it was a terrorist act. Doesn't mean that this man was part of it. So we're just going to find out now. Hopefully I have enough time that my camera doesn't go out. So Stephen Paddock, I mean, what's really interesting about this man that really has me like, is because he's the emperor, like Trump. So the emperor is like a guy that's loyal, a very stand-up guy. I don't see an emperor doing something like this. You know, usually emperor is very straightforward. He's very emotionally balanced. He's able to get rid of, with the death card in there, the things that no longer serve him. He'd be a good businessman, a good leader. People follow him. And they have good morals and good intentions. That's why people follow him. So I don't understand. He's not the person that I would think that would do something like this. Marilou Danley, on the other hand, her birth cards from the dates that you guys gave me, which is 12/12/1954, hopefully that's right. She's the chariot in the tower, and we all know that with the chariot, you know, it's that focus, will, determination, to get what they want, you know, they just are laser focused and they don't see the peripheral. They're focused on what they want, their end goal, and things can tumble behind them. They're usually so focused that it leads to a tower event. So so that's one thing. Second of all, I was going to use these cards, and lo and behold, some of the cards are missing. So I'm like, today it's just crazy. So I'm going to use this deck, this Keepler deck. I've never used it before, but hey, you know me, I'm all about intuitive reading. So I've never used it before. I've never used the Kepler deck before. I don't know anything. So we're just going to see what this says. So I'm going to put this man down, and I'm also going to use this Mildred Payne's Secret Oracle. So I'm going to use that too. So what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to do the reading, and I'm going to see what's all around him. And I'm going to do this in regards, and then I'm going to put that Mildred Payne on top of it. No, maybe I should have just let you guys see. What's in front of him? What's underneath him? Wow. Okay. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. So I'm going to use this Mildred Payne Tarot to go on top of it. Maybe I should have let you guys see the cards. Well, maybe I'll show it to you. Hopefully, I'll let you guys see it. So what I'm going to do is put a card on each of these. Ooh. Very interesting. So let me see. Hopefully, let me see if I can see. All right. So this is what's going on. So I want you guys to see. That goes there. That's the main guy. All right. All right, so you see that's interesting, right? I so wish that you guys were on, why do I feel like I'm all upside down? I wish that we were live. So, because I like the interaction between us. So you guys seen that. So what we're seeing behind them is that he was in some despair. You know, he was in some despair, and he was on a time limit. So something was kind of stressing him out, and he was on, he was on some despair, and he had a limited amount of time in regards to the despair. So his time was limited. Let's just see what that, because you know, yeah, deadlines. There was a deadline. So he was on a limited amount of time. Then, in front of him, on the side of him, is that there was this wealthy man. This wealthy man, look at this wealthy man. So this is in his immediate, and the wealthy man and the devil. So we all know, usually in the devil with the tarot, let me see what the devil is here. Yeah, deceit, abuse. So this man, this devil, some deceit, some abuse. This wealthy man had something to do with his time, his despair, what he was stressed out about, his limited amount of time that he had. Okay. Underneath that was the, there was some worry about imprisonment, and this was like a helping hand. There was some worry. His foundation was in regards to imprisonment, of being locked away, and maybe that this was a way for him to get out of. This was a helping hand, a way for him to get out of this imprisonment. I find this is very interesting. This is the Lover's card underneath him as the foundation, right? And then there's a spider. And in his, in Patrick's thing, it says the spider, a strong and powerful female energy, carefully designing one's life. So, did this female, his lover, have something to do? Was she the spider? Was she the Black Widow? Was she the spider to get him mixed up in this web? All right. Occupation and wall. So, the occupation and wall. So, it looks like there was a blockage, an obstacle. Protection, maintaining boundaries. So there was an obstacle in regards to his occupation. I thought he was retired. So was something that he did, was a new business or an opportunity that he was involved in or perceived to be some type of occupation, that there was an obstacle, a brick wall, blockage that has to do with that. On his mind was, he was thinking about leading up to marriage with this woman. Look at the ladder, climbing the ladder to marriage. Whoops. Sorry about that. Oh, okay. And then the cauldron. Look at this. Toil and labor. Toil and labor. Toil and labor, but what is a cauldron? The cauldron is a magical combination, experimentation. So did someone put toil and labor, put a magical or experiment, was experimenting with him? Because that's on his head, right on his mind. So was his mind clouded because he was experimented on? That he was under some type of magical enchantment? Or, you know, magical, medical enchantment? Because we all know the cauldron, magic and medicine go hand in hand. That's what, you know, medicine is. Medicine medicine and practicing medicine is like being an alchemist, which is what we do in magic. Look at this. Here's that female, the main female. Here she is again. And then the skull. What is the skull here? Let me see. The skull I think of as death. Thoughts and feelings of morality, change, end of cycle, death. So did this woman have something to do with these deaths? Because remember in my reading before, I said definitely there was a woman that was behind things. Alright, so that's interesting. So let's do a reading, because I don't see this man on his own doing stuff like this. It just doesn't seem as an emperor that this is, but there's a wealthy man, businessman behind it. This might have to be a couple of parts. So this is part 1, and we might have a couple of parts. I don't know how I'm going to put this on Facebook. I mean on YouTube, but I'll put it up somehow. So this is part 1. So what I'm going to do is so we see a lot of that. So I want to see between him and this wealthy man. First I want to see Stephen, because Stephen's actuality wasn't Stephen Paddock. I mean, it's weird, because I'm not necessarily sure if this man is the person that did the shooting. I can't even connect to him on the other side. Stephen Paddock? Stephen? My spirit guides, can you help me connect, or can you help explain to me? Was Stephen a part of this shooting? Stephen Paddock, was he a part of this shooting? I don't think that he was, I think he was a part of a group, but I don't think he was the actual shooter. Cross the bear is the ace of, he was in maybe the planning phase, maybe, or the thought phase, or the planning phase of coming together, but I don't really see him. I don't have his energy. I don't feel a connection to him. Underneath, the Hermit. So he was alone. He was by himself. The Queen of Pentacles, here she is again. I see this other man and another woman, a Queen of Wands, a King of Swords. I see there's a lot of confusion right now for him. There's been a lot of confusion and not so much going on, kind of so much going on. And it has to do with like some nostalgia. So nostalgia in between this king and this queen. The Queen of Wands and the King of Swords. So the King of Swords is the planner. I think that's that wealthy man, to tell you the truth. The Queen of Wands. There's a Queen of Pentacles, which is like a wife. The Queen of Wands is like a sexual woman. Could be sexual with either the King of Swords or with this guy. And she's very powerful, manipulative. I also like that this is a black cat underneath here. So it kind of reminds me of, she might have been the one casting the spell. I see that black cat. To me, it's like the broom and the black cat. that has to do with that cauldron earlier. I don't think this guy, there's a young, look at, these are the same people of the reading I did yesterday. The young man and the young woman. The young man and the young woman. There is more people. I don't think this Stephen guy shot or killed anybody. There was a conflict. The young man. There is a young man. This young man. So there's two young women. A young man. So there's an older lady, an older man, a wealthy man, a very sexy woman, probably into magic, stuff like that. Manipulation, could be psych, stuff like that. You know, maybe a handler, per se. I don't think he's waiting. It's like coming together waiting. I'm like, I don't think Stephen had anything to do with this. There's a conflict. To go forth. This guy who did this. He went forth with the plan. It was a young guy who did the shooting. A young guy that actually carried out the plans successfully. There was some conflict between this young guy and these two young women. A conflict within themselves, like a competition. So I think that was there. The overseers was this man, this woman. But I think the ones that actually did stuff was a young woman, two young women, and a young man. I don't think this guy had anything to do with it. I'm not seeing anything. This guy, I don't even find this guy, I don't know. I don't even feel spirit with him. I don't feel spirit. Let me try to see him. I'm gonna go 3 more cards. Did this man, no, these 3 cards came out. The thought, the plan. He was dead already. Actually, 3 people. Here's the plan, the initiated plan. He was dead already. He was dead. He was already brought down. These other 3 people were planning it. This guy had nothing to do with it. So this is part 1. This guy had absolutely nothing to do with it. He was dead. Alright, he was dead before this happened. I don't even know if this guy is real, really. I don't feel no spiritual energy. No. Well, this is part 1. I'll try to get to part 2 later on. It's just very strange. This is part 1. Alright, talk to you guys later.